Hello, this is S.K. Williams, and today I would like to give a presentation of my plans about reading the Holy Bible. For those who have looked over my channel, you will know that one of the earliest things I started to do was to present the Holy Bible set to whimsical animation. Specifically, I chose the 1568 Bishop's Bible. Of course, the 1568 Bishop's Bible was not very popular, even when it was released. But it is a historically significant Bible since it is an early forerunner of the Authorized Version of the Bible, otherwise known as the King James Version. So the Bishop's Bible is a historically significant Bible, and to my knowledge was never done in audio format before. But it is also not a very interesting one for most people, so I've decided to move it to Amazon, because I think that is a better venue for a historically significant Bible than YouTube, as Amazon does typically cater to people who are interested in the study of history. I mean, sure, YouTube also has history channels that are quite popular, and there are people interested in learning about history from YouTube videos, but they don't seem to be of the mindset of wanting to actually sit down with historical literature or historical artifacts. Of course, there are people who watch YouTube videos who would want such an engagement, but typically they don't actually gain such on YouTube themselves, even if they watch YouTube historical channels. So I'm going to move the Bishop's Bible to Amazon. But that doesn't mean I wish to discontinue reading the Bible altogether for my channel. However, it does address another problem that I was having. Notably, the problem of representation. By that, I don't mean what the typical liberal media means by it. I am unconcerned with forced diversity and making everyone represented for no other reason than a political statement. But while I myself am a Christian, this channel does exist as a neutral educational platform, and the reason I am hosting the Bible is as a reference work. The reason I chose the 1568 Bishop's Bible is because it is a historically significant Bible that has not been presented before. Obviously, the most historically significant Bible in English is the Authorized Version, or the King James Version of the Holy Bible. But, as many sites already host that translation, I felt no need to do so myself. But the Bishop's Bible is a forerunner of the King James Bible, and I thought it apropos. My intention was also to present the scriptures of all three major Abrahamic faiths: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. I was also going to present the scriptures from the Latter-day Saint movement, but don't know if I should count that as a separate branch, because many Mormons view themselves simply as Christians, but it is different enough to qualify, especially since it does have its own unique scriptures. Originally, I had thought the Bishop's Bible satisfied this, though, since the Jewish scriptures, the Tanakh, the Jewish Bible, is identical to the Christian Old Testament. There are some minor differences, such as the arrangement that the books are found in within the Jewish Bible, as well as the specific way in which the books are presented as individual works. The Jewish Bible has 24 books, as opposed to the 39 of the Christian Old Testament, but the 39 books of the Christian Old Testament are identical to the 24 books of the Jewish Bible. It's just that certain books, such as Ezra and Nehemiah, are counted as one book in Jewish Bibles, where they are two books in Christian Bibles. Still, I believed that by reading the Bishop's Bible I have presented both Jewish and Christian scriptures, but upon reflection I did notice a problem. And it's a problem that is not as easy to address as some may initially think. And that is that Jewish interpretation of the scriptures differs from Christian interpretation, and that interpretational difference also manifests itself in how the texts are translated into English. Thus, by presenting a Christian Bible translation, I don't genuinely present a Jewish understanding of the text, and thus do not fairly represent the Jewish faith. Of course, the easy solution to this would be to simply read a Jewish Bible for the Old Testament and to read a Christian New Testament, but since Christianity is reliant upon the Old Testament, this also poses a problem, since it would chain the Christian New Testament to a Jewish interpretation of the Old. So how do I resolve this? Had I decided to continue to present the Bishop's Bible on YouTube, the solution would be simple. I would simply complete the Bishop's Bible, and then proceed to the Quran and the Book of Mormon, and perhaps in Phase 2, go back and present a Jewish translation. But be content, if not satisfied, with the fact that the Jewish scriptures have been presented in the form of a Christian Bible, which, while not ideal from a Jewish perspective, at least does offer some presentation. But, having decided to move the Bishop's Bible to Amazon, yet being resolved to nonetheless present an audio Bible for my channel, I am now given the opportunity to address this issue that, again, I thought of only after I had begun the project. So what I have decided to do is this. There are actually 6 strands of Christianity that need to be represented, if you include Mormonism as Christian, but even if you don't, it is still something that uses the Bible. So here is how I plan to proceed. In Phase 1, where I deal with the Abrahamic faiths, I shall limit the Bible to only 3. Orthodox Christianity, Judaism, and Catholicism. In Phase 2, I will also present 2 forms of Protestantism and the Latter-day Saint movement, but I won't address those until Phase 2. Also in Phase 2, I will go to other religions that are not Abrahamic in formation. For Phase 1, I will still address Mormonism by reviewing the Book of Mormon, as well as the Doctrine and Covenants and Peril of Great Price. But I won't do a uniquely Mormon translation or interpretation of the Bible. As far as the Bible is concerned, I will focus solely upon Judaism and Christianity. And I've even selected the 3 Bibles that I shall read. Although I had intended Phase 1 to have only 1 Bible, I feel that this is necessary. The 3 Bibles will be technically 5 Bibles. Well, technically 6. But this is because some translations find themselves used either as a base for or resource for the translation of others. For example, the Authorized Version, or the King James Version, is often used as a base text for other subsequent translations, meaning that while they do not read identically to the King James Version, they are very similar, and this will include the ones I am considering. Nevertheless, I have decided that for Phase 1 I shall present 3 texts. A Jewish Bible to show the Jewish perspective, and 2 Christian Bibles, one from the Eastern Orthodox perspective and one from the Western Catholic perspective. The only question then becomes, which one do I present first? Which shouldn't seem like a difficult decision, but it is a little more difficult than people may think at first. You see, I like doing things in chronological order, So you may say Judaism is older than Christianity, so just do the Jewish translation first. But there is a problem to that, and that is that modern Judaism is not actually older than Christianity. It's actually younger than Christianity, though it is derived from something older. Then again, so is Christianity. Christianity came out of Judaism, just not modern Judaism, because modern Judaism, Rabbinic Judaism, actually descended from the Pharisees and came about as a series of reforms that occurred after the fall of the Temple in Jerusalem. As such, the Orthodox and Catholic claims are at least just as old. So here's what I have decided to do. Since I'm going to do 3, and 2 of those are Christian, I'm going to do a sandwich method. I will start with a Christian Bible translation, and when I'm done with it, or at the very least done with the Old Testament of it, I will then proceed to the Jewish Bible, and then when that is completed, I will move on to the other Christian Bible. And I've decided which Bibles I shall use. Considering how much time I put into this, in order to properly maintain it, I will need revenue, so while I want to give the Bible away for free, I will sell Bible readings for money on Amazon. This is not for my own personal gain so much as it is simply a recognition of the necessity of such funds. But for the first 3 that I present on YouTube, that won't be the case. And because I don't want to sell these, I've decided to use Bibles that would feel uncomfortable being sold in the first place. The first will be the Classic Orthodox Bible, which was produced by C.J.S. Hayward. Though it is a derivative work that was actually created by using the Sir Lancelot Brinton Septuagint translation and a modified version of the Authorized Version's New Testament. I do believe some revisions were also made to Brinton's Septuagint. This Bible was actually removed from circulation and is now out of print because Mr. Hayward, or Dr. Hayward, I can't remember which, forgot to get permission from his bishop and felt guilty and removed it, though it is now in the public domain thanks to him as well, so I have decided to preserve it for posterity by reading it in audio format. This is not done to slight him or his beliefs, it is simply done to preserve the work. After this, I shall do the Jewish Bible, of which I had some options, and I've decided to do a combination of 3 different Jewish Bibles. One of them is the Isaac Leeser Bible, the other is the JPS 1917, or Jewish Publication Society 1917 Tanakh, and the final one will be the Jewish Family Bible for Schools. I will go into greater detail about how this shall be arranged, but all 3 will contribute to it so that while you will get the entire Jewish Bible from a Jewish perspective, you will not get it from a single translation. This way, I can release the Jewish translations proper on Amazon later on in full, though I will present them as new recordings and not the ones I present here. And the final Bible I shall present will be the Catholic Public Domain version of the Holy Bible, which was created to specifically be in the public domain and to be a Catholic translation of the Latin Vulgate. I'll go into greater detail on the presentation of each of the 3 Bibles and information about their background at a later time as well, but this is my current plan and presentation. After I have completed the Catholic Public Domain Bible, or perhaps before then, I haven't quite decided that yet, I shall also begin reading the Book of Mormon, or at least a summation of it, for this channel, and other texts that are ancient, that, at least according to those who believe in them, would have occurred contemporaneously to the writings of the Bible. As this channel is neutral, I'm not going to say that Joseph Smith wrote the Book of Mormon in the 19th century, nor will I say that the Book of Mormon is an ancient book. That is up to you, but I do feel that it should be presented as it was given to the world, so I shall treat it as a translation of an ancient text from the ancient world, in deference to that revelation, and, of course, to how it was introduced to us in our culture. After I am completed with the Book of Mormon and the Holy Bible, I shall also read the Holy Quran, though, to be honest, I should probably still be reading the Book of Mormon whilst reading the Holy Quran, because there is an overlap. So the Book of Mormon will sort of bridge the Bible and Quran, since I'll be reading them at the same time. And after I've finished the Quran, and the Book of Mormon, and the Doctrine and Covenants, and Pearl of Great Price, Phase 1 shall end, and I shall take a small break, and then resume by reading others, both Bibles and other holy books, as noted earlier in this video. Though I shall maintain the tradition of reading the Psalms separately from the rest of the Bible. Partly this is because the Book of Psalms is so long, and partly because it affords me this luxury by its nature. It isn't really narrative, and you don't really need to know much continuity of events to understand it. However, I'm not going to read the Psalms that accord with the Bible translation I am reading in each case. Rather, because I'm not starting with the Jewish Bible, I am going to start with the Jewish Psalms. So, whilst reading the Classic Orthodox Bible, I will be reading the Psalms from the Leeser Bible, the JPS 1917, or Jewish Publication Society 1917, and the Jewish Family Bible. I shall read the Classic Orthodox Bible, Psalms, when I reach the Catholic Bible. I also intend on reading some other Psalms that aren't part of any of these collections. Some of them unique and standalone translations, while others not. For instance, I'm going to complete the Great Bible Psalms, which, while I originally presented them for the Bishop's Bible, will make a nice accompaniment here as well, especially since I intend on re-recording some of them and cleaning up the audio on some of them that aren't re-recorded for sale on Amazon. This will be the rough cut. In total, you should have 6 books of Psalms read and presented. More will be given on that in the final video, in which I give the arrangements, which will basically give the same information I have here with a little more elaboration, but with less description on why I came to this decision. It will be a little shorter and more straightforward in that regard. At any rate, all of the Bibles must include the Apocrypha, or Deuterocanon, and all of them must include the New Testament. That is a rule I have created, which does pose a problem with the Jewish Bible, since it does not have a New Testament or Apocrypha. For the New Testament, though, it's an easy remedy, because there are many translations of the New Testament that were done as a standalone that I can easily insert into the Jewish reading. For instance, I could use John Wesley's translation, or the Mace translation, or the Campbell translation, none of which have an Old Testament, all of which are the New. And I can also add an Apocrypha from another source as well. This is not done to compromise Jewish belief. It is rather done to make the Bibles more compatible with the format that other Bibles are given. And it serves as a nice excuse to read one of the New Testaments that I would otherwise not read for this channel, because I would read an entire Bible translation that would already have them. Reading a Jewish Bible means I don't have a New Testament, so I can read a standalone New Testament. At any rate, that is my plan going forward, and I intend to release it on January 1st, of 2020. Although I may give some sneak peeks on the 1st of December, the opening of Advent. No guarantees, though, because that's when I actually plan on recording them. Because I'm actually going to record all of these things a month in advance, so that if I ever fall behind, I will be more ready to catch up. I don't have much else to say in this update video, so I'm going to sign off now. Thank you, God bless, and goodbye.